Alright, if you're considering upgrading from the iPhone 12 mini to the iPhone 13, it's probably because of the battery life. At least for me, that was the biggest reason to choose for the iPhone 13 instead of the iPhone 12, which I have been using for a year now. I'm not going to tell you a lot of stories, I'm just going to go into this video and tell you how I personally felt using this iPhone 12 mini compared to the iPhone 13, which I have since release, so about 2 months now, more or less. So let's compare these two models. To start off with the biggest issue, why I had to upgrade or why I thought I should upgrade to the iPhone 13, well, that was because of the battery life, as already said. With the iPhone 12 mini, I could go from 8 a.m. when I wake up to about 6 p.m. in the afternoon or almost evening. That's not good enough for me. I always had to charge the iPhone 12 mini when I was in the car or at work or at home because the battery died at about 6 p.m. and I stay up to about 11 p.m., 12 a.m. So that was not that nice to work with, especially when you need it a lot for your work, for phone calls, for mails and all that stuff. Now the iPhone 13 is way better in that case. It lasts from 8 a.m. to about 12 a.m. at night. Midnight. So that's way better than the 12 mini, of course. Not that we didn't expect that, of course, because this is a bigger phone than this one. That's the main reason why the battery is bigger and better, of course, on the iPhone 13. But the battery condition on the 12 mini was the worst battery condition on any iPhone I had in the past. I only have 89% battery condition left on this phone after a year. That's terrible. I still have 100% after 2 months, which is pretty good. Which is normal, at least, I think. But on the 12 mini, it was really weird to see after about 2 months, 3 months, I was only on 98, 99% because the battery had a lot of strain, of course, because I worked a lot with it, with the phone. And maybe I think for working with the 12 mini for a whole day, it's just not big enough to keep up with you for a whole day. And that means you also stress the battery a lot when you work with it, as much as I do, for example. So yeah, battery life, big plus on the iPhone 13, of course, and the main reason why I upgraded, as already said. Next thing on the line comparing these two is the camera. Of course, as you can see, camera is a bit different on the iPhone 12 mini compared to the iPhone 13, but not a lot of differences in actual usage. I'm guessing camera is important for you, but not like I'm a professional photographer important. Otherwise, you would have chosen the iPhone 13 Pro probably. Anyways, camera is really good on both devices as expected. There are some minor differences which I'm going to explain right now, but not that big. Both have the wide and ultra-wide lens and the Dolby Vision HDR 4K, but the iPhone 13 can go up to 60 frames per second in the Dolby Vision 4K, while the 12 mini only goes up to 30 frames per second. Biggest differences is in filming. On the iPhone 13, you have the film mode. So the cinematic mode, which goes up to 1080p 30 frames per second. And they made a lot of advertisements with that. It's not on the iPhone 12 mini, so I can't show it on the iPhone 12 mini, but you can see some shots over here. I used it for one of my videos. As you can see, it's okay. It's not great. It's only in 1080p, and that's the main reason why I don't use it that often. But it's really for filmmakers. You're not going to use that if you're just shooting regular stuff like in your garden or your cat or your dog or something like that. So yeah. For some people, that might be a big bonus on the iPhone 13. For me, that's not a real reason why to buy the iPhone 13 instead of the iPhone 12 mini. Sizes, of course, 6.1 inch, 5.4 inch. It's a difference, and it's a noticeable difference, of course. Weight as well. It's heavier, the 13, compared to the iPhone 12 mini. I don't know. You probably know this already, so I'm not going to explain this further. This one's smaller, this one's bigger and heavier. Yeah. That's the reason why that's a mini and that's a regular sized phone. Now I do have to say, when holding these in hand, I really like the form factor of the 12 mini. If the 12 mini would have had the same battery life as the 13, I would still have been using this phone probably. But I really like it. It's small, it fits nice in your palm of your hand. I don't have really big hands. and it fits nice in your pants, especially when running, for example. For me, that's really great. Although the 13 is okay. I had the 10R, which was a big and clunky device, but the 13, in my opinion, is better design-wise and size-wise than the XR, if we go there. Screen quality, both have Super Retina XDR display, which is great for videos, great for FaceTiming, great for watching stuff on your phone. It's nice, so not a real comparison over there as well. When we look at speed, the iPhone 13 has the newest A15 Bionic chip, while the 12 mini only has the A14 Bionic chip. But let's be honest, the difference in speed in phones these days is not noticeable. Even when you have the A14 versus the A15 Bionic chip, if both are recent phones, you will not really notice the big difference, in my opinion, unless you're a real hardcore gamer maybe, but even then you won't really notice it, in my opinion. Although if you have a phone like the 10R or like an iPhone 10 for example right now, well, then you will notice it. But from A15 to A14, not a big difference. The build quality, as you can see, is as good as equal. Both are very sturdy. I dropped them both a couple of times. They haven't broken yet, so please no karma. I want to have my iPhone 13 for a couple of years maybe. So no differences there as well. There are more colors on the iPhone 12 mini compared to the iPhone 13. Price is a bigger difference. The iPhone 13 sells for $799, so $800, while the iPhone 12 mini sells for $599, so $600. That's a price difference of $200. So that's really something you have to take into consideration when comparing these two phones as well. So the biggest reasons to upgrade from the iPhone 13 to the 12 mini: the battery life, the bigger size, a better chip, and the camera is a bit better for filming. Now, is this worth the $200 price difference? That's the big question, of course. Well, if you tell me I have to pay $200 extra to get the A15 Bionic chip instead of the A14 Bionic chip, I wouldn't do it. If you tell me I have a cinematic mode for $200 instead of all the other stuff you have on the iPhone 12 mini, which is the same on the 13, I wouldn't do it as well. But if you tell me I can use my phone 6 hours more on the same usage as battery life goes, then it's worth my $200. If you also tell me the screen is bigger so I can watch my videos a lot nicer, is that even a sentence? If you tell me I need to pay $200 for a bigger screen so I can see my videos better and I can read everything better and I don't need any glasses to read my iPhone 12 mini, then that's reasonable. So yeah, it's up to you in this case. If you use your phone a lot, if you have it as a daily driver, like if you're not someone who only uses his phone for calling and texting, for example, once or 2 or 5 times a day, then you can go for the iPhone 12 mini. You will have enough battery life to last the whole day. If you use your phone on as a regular basis as I do, then you should definitely go for the iPhone 13. The $200 you have to pay extra will be nothing compared to the time you have to invest to actually charge your phone 2 times a day. And probably, I'm guessing, after a year you'll say like, okay, I'm now going to upgrade to the iPhone 13, and maybe if you would have chosen the iPhone 13 from the get-go, you wouldn't have to upgrade to the iPhone 13 after a year, and you wouldn't have to spend extra money to have that upgrade. That's what I did. Yeah. So yeah, as always, if you have any questions about the iPhone 12 mini or the iPhone 13, let them know in the comment section down below, and I'll be very glad to help you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe as well, of course. Put on those notifications, and what do they say at the end of a video? I'm going to round off here. I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.